you're saying it's a step in the right direction to at least verify the humanness of a person while maintaining anonymity. So that's one step, but the further step, that's maybe doesn't go all the way, because you can still figure out ways to create multiple accounts, and
But it's a lot harder. So actually, there's a lot of ways to do this. There's a lot of creativity out there about solving this problem. So if you go to the social media and political dysfunction Google Doc that I created with Chris Bale, and then you go to section 11, proposals for improving social media. So we're collecting there now some of the ideas for how to do user authentication. And so one is WorldCoin. There's one, human-id.org. This is a new organization created by an NYU Stern student who just came into my office last week, working with some other people. And what they do here is they have a method of identity verification that is keyed to your phone. So you do have to have a phone number. And of course, you can buy 7 different phone numbers if you want, but it's going to be about $20 or $30 a month. So nobody's going to buy 1,000 phones. So yeah, you can, you don't have just one unique ID, but most people do, and nobody has 1,000. So there's just things like this that would make an enormous difference. So here's the way that I think about it. Imagine a public square in which the incentives are to be an asshole, that the more you kick people in the shins and spit on them and throw things at them, the more people applaud you. Okay, so that's the public square we have now. Not for most people, but as you said, just one troll can ruin it for everybody. If there's 1,000 of us in the public square and 10 are incentivized to, kick us and throw shit at us, like it's no fun to be in that public square. So right now, I think Twitter in particular is making our public square much worse. It's making our democracy much weaker, much more divided. It's bringing us down. Imagine if we change the incentives. Imagine if the incentive was to be constructive. And so this is an idea that I've been kicking around. I talked about it with Reid Hoffman last week, and he seemed to think it's a good idea. And it would be very easy to, rather than trying to focus on posts, what post is fake or whatever, focus on users, what users are incredibly aggressive. And so people just use a lot of obscenity and exclamation points. AI could easily code nastiness or just aggression, hostility. And imagine if every user is rated on a 1 to 5 scale for that. And the default, when you open an account on Twitter or Facebook, the default is 4. You will see everybody who's a 4 and below. But you won't even see the people who are 5s, and they don't get to see you. So they can say what they want. Free speech. We're not censoring them. They can say what they want. But now there's actually an incentive to not be an asshole, because the more of an asshole you are, the more people block you out. So imagine our country goes in 2 directions. In one, things continue to deteriorate, and we have no way to have a public square in which we could actually talk about things. And in the other, we actually try to disincentivize being an asshole and encourage being constructive. What do you think?
Well, this is because I'm an AI person. And I very much, ever since I talked to Jack about the health of conversation, I've been looking at a lot of the machine learning models involved. And I believe that the nastiness classification is a difficult problem automatically.
I'm sure it is.
So I personally believe in crowdsourced nastiness labeling, but in an objective way, where it doesn't become viral mob cancellation type of dynamics, but more sort of objectively. Is this a shitty, almost out of context, with only local context? Is this a shitty thing to say at this moment? Because here's the thing.
Well, we don't care about individual posts.
But
all that matters is the average.
The posts make the man.
They do, but the point is, as long as we're talking about averages here, if one person has a misclassified post, it doesn't matter.
Right. Yeah. So, but you need to classify posts in order to build up the average. That's what I mean. And so I really like that idea, whatever the high level idea of incentivizing people to be less shitty.
Yeah.
Because that's what we have, that incentive in real life.
Yeah,
actually.
That's right.
It's actually really painful to be a full-time asshole, I think, in physical reality.
That's right. You'd be cut off.
It should be also pain to be an asshole on the internet. And there could be different mechanisms for that. I wish AI was there, machine learning models were there. They just aren't yet.
No, but how about we have, so one track is we have AI machine learning models and they render a verdict. Another class is crowdsourcing. You get, and then whenever the two disagree, you have staff at Twitter or whatever, they look at it and they say, well, what's going on here? And that way you can refine both the AI and you can refine whatever the algorithms are for the crowdsourcing, because of course that can be gamed and people can, hey, let's all rate this guy as really aggressive. So you wouldn't want just to rely on one single track, but if you have two tracks, I think you could do it.